All right now, we live. It's going down. It's going
Hey.
down. So I'll play a little music in the back or something. I'm gonna wait for like 2 minutes, and whoever
Okay.
comes, come, and then we're gonna get started. They can always go back and watch. All right
Good.
now, it's going down. And you free to share it because it should be on my page, so you can share it if you want to. I don't know if you have to do it from somewhere, so you can wait till it's over because it might take you out
Okay.
of here if you try to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's on there though. Yeah,
See.
my. Can you hear music in the back? A little
A little
bit.
bit.
It ain't
Hmm.
too much. All right.
Nope. Right on time.
All right
Right
now.
on time.
Yeah, come on in here. Come on in here. You like John B.
Who was that?
John B. You like John B.
I love John B.
Yeah. All right now. Yes, sir. How y'all
Oh
doing?
yeah.
I see y'all in here. Down on drop a comment and let us know who you are, where you watching from. And we about to get this thing started. You turn it down. I don't want it to be too loud. All right, we gonna go and get started. Hey, Mama Riri, love you so much. Can you see her comment?
Oh, there we go. Hey,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Songbird. R Jerome. Hello.
Yeah, yeah. How you doing? God bless you. Thank you for
Hey.
tuning in. I love you. How y'all doing? Welcome to the self love journey where everybody's story matters, where we learn how to have a healthy relationship with ourselves, where I talk to people from different walks of life just to encourage, motivate, inspire each other, and just to let you know, remind you that God is still healing, delivering, and working miracles right now. Yes, He is. Hey, Janine Martinez. I think we got connected through you. You know her?
Yep. It's one of my followers slash friends
Yeah, yeah. You
for
led her to
sure.
me. Thank you. Thank you, Janine, for tuning
Yeah.
in. So tonight on this self-love journey, we had conversations with Shei Atkins. We have Mr. I am R Jerome, aka R Jerome, aka Pastor Randy. Now, um, about 3 years ago, he left a comment on Instagram. And that's how I was kind of made aware because I was gone off the scene for at least between 6, 7, 8 years doing my thing, being rebellious. So I can't pop back on the scene with my new single, Loving Me. And so he was just he popped in and left a comment showing love and just letting me know that he was a fan and all this here. And I don't know how I found out about your music. I don't know if you shared with me that you were a singer or what, but
I
somehow I
think it
ended up on
clicked it.
YouTube. Oh, well, I've been nosing. Who is this? Showing this love like this. So I went to his YouTube and heard his song all night long, and I became a fan of his. So we've been fans of each other. I've been a fan of his for the last 3 years, and so.
Oh man.
But that's all I knew was that he do music. That's all I know. He do music. But 2 weeks ago, I so happened to hear him on the live talking. And mind you, he been blowing up on TikTok dancing. He done became a TikTok. He done became a TikTok celebrity doing that dance. He might do it for us tonight. I don't know. But I heard him talking about how he had been running from God for 20 years. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. You been doing what now? Who is this? I don't know nothing about this here. And so he was saying about him being a pastor and going back to preaching. I'm like, hold on, I missed this part of the journey. So I need him to get on here
Totally.
and share his story because somebody needs to hear his story. We out and ran, we out and did our own
Yeah.
thing for a season, but I
Right.
want him to share his journey to self love because it's women, men, we all, got to learn who we are. We all, got to turn our hearts back to God and learn who we are. So I want him to come on and just We just gonna talk, and share
Yeah.
his journey to self love. So let's just get into your story because your story matters. Let's get into
Uh, okay. Where you want to start?
it. Let's start from wherever you want to start from. Your
Oof.
childhood, your uh parents. Were your parents in your life? Was your father in your life? What some
Yeah.
pains you went through growing up? You know, you ever
Yeah.
strayed?
Mm. Well, let's start it back. 83, Jacksonville,
Okay.
North Carolina. Um, and I was, born to two teenage kids, two teenagers that didn't know really what path they were taking, but I became part of that journey. And from that journey, we wound up being in Rochester, New York. And I think that's where it turned for everybody, including my
Mm.
mother. I watched my mother work on being, I'm live. I'm live.
The kid. When you at home recording,
I
the
don't need
kids
you.
love to come in, baby.
He thought I was calling him. I said, I'm live. He's like, what? We just talked about it.
We did.
I just told him. But yeah, I think that when we came to Rochester, that was the turn for everybody because my mother was trying to find a way to make life better for me. And
Hmm.
the family that we were connected to were not on the same mental journey as my mother. And so my mother was always the one on the outside. They kind of looked at her as being the one that, well, is she better than everybody? And I think mom just always knew she had to be better. It was always something in her that pushed us to want to be better. And we got to a place where things just kind of got too rough with the family that my mom finally got together and said, let me help my son and we're going to figure this out. And so we spent a lot of time away from the people that really causing a lot of problems. I mean, the family we're connected to dealt with drugs, dealt with alcohol, dealt with just a lot. I saw a lot as a kid. And once my mom recognized that I saw a lot, she moved me
Hmm.
from it because she wasn't a part of that. My mom wasn't any of that. It was the family we're connected to,
Hmm.
fortunately. And so during that time, she started getting into church. She was already gospel choir, things like that. She got into church. And I think that's when something got a hold of me at the age of 6. I joined the choir.
Hmm.
And I think that's where the singing came. Now, the good part about dealing with like my grandmother and family is I used to sing in the living rooms and stuff around all her friends while they drink and they're doing other stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so she would wake me up in the middle of the night to sing Tony Terry or the Temptations, and
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
sing, for all the kids in the neighborhood. And so that was always that's where it started. The harmonies, the wanting to sing. My grandmother used to put me, around and she taught me about Motown and taught me about the OJ. She actually used to um, hang out with the OJ. She knew them back in the day, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so as time went on, me and my mom moved on, and I got into martial arts and sports, and I realized that was the moment where my rebellion began because honestly, I began to have um, issues with females at a young age. So at a young age, um, I actually was introduced to the how can we say it in the most respectful way? I think the adult side of life, the sexual life, by another kid.
Mm.
And I
Mm.
actually have never told anybody this, but it was actually a family member that introduced
Mm.
me, and she was a kid herself. And because of
Mm.
that, that taught me something I didn't need to know about women. And that
Mm.
was a moment where I think I started to want to please in order to get the respect. And so at that age,
Mm.
wanting the respect of your grandmother, wanting the respect of your family, I found myself trying to do whatever I could to please others. So it was,
Mm.
if you need to be a great martial artist, be it. If you need to be a great basketball player, be it. If you need to be whatever it was, be great at it. And
Mm.
unfortunately, that carried into my adult life where I was always trying to save the people that I was dating rather than looking for someone that I could build with. And so that really
Mm.
started as a kid because of what I
Mm.
saw. And I don't blame them, it's just where they were. And because of where they were, they couldn't see what was happening to me
Mm.
until it was too late. And so
Mm.
during that time, I met Christ, and my mom, in my teenage years, really tried to help me to understand who Christ was and what it was about because she was growing at the same time. And so by the time I was about 17, I was already, I started preaching more and I started doing stuff in the church, a Baptist church here in Rochester. And before I knew it, I had gotten licensed to preach. What was hard about that was I had a natural ability to speak. I had a natural
Mm,
ability to reach people. They just flocked. It didn't matter. It just,
mm,
I had that ability. And so once it happened, the holdback was I was kind of too good at what I did. So instead of putting me on the platform to do it with the other reverends, I was placed on a board of women that were 55 years and older. So I'm 19 on
mm,
the
Lord.
evangelist board with old women to be an evangelist.
Wow.
And, and that was the beginning of me going, so if I'm going to serve God, is it all about being held back? Is it all about not being shown the correct way to do things? And I think the biggest mistake in that is while I'm searching for God, I realized that I spent my childhood without my father. Now, it's not
Mm,
that me and my father are cool. Now, that's my guy. I just texted him a little
yeah,
while ago. But during that time, he was a teenager who didn't know better either. There
yeah,
was no social media. There was no, I can look your number up on Google. There
yeah,
was
yeah,
no,
yeah.
yeah. So all that was gone. And so I grew up with a mentor. My dad didn't want me. So at that
Mm,
point, I negated the opportunity to even see him as a kid. Bad decision. It could have been good. I think when I look at what God's doing, but I think it was bad because I decided, you know what? I'm gonna serve God. I'm gonna learn this life myself, and I wound up having to learn manhood on my own. So
mm,
I got married at 21 years old, thinking
mm-hmm.
I get married, this woman wants to seek Christ and, we're going to do this together. Mind you, the whole time I wasn't fully into Christ. I wasn't fully there.
Oh,
I was, I was picking up things about myself. I had no idea what a manipulator was or what a liar really was like in the church because I thought it was normal. You thought it was like, hey, you get up, praise God, you love God. You didn't realize, hey, you sleep with somebody, it's cool because that's what they do. Do your
oh,
thing. I didn't understand it until I got older and I got more older and I got more older. And because I was dealing with problems, I I didn't want to hear nothing. You couldn't really tell me about how to be better, how to be consistent, how to be anything. I just thought I'm supposed to be called of God. Let me preach, let me do my thing, and let me be Randy, you know?
mm.
If you fast forward that up a little bit, now here I am, two divorces in, or one divorce and a relationship in. And the worst thing you can do in a relationship is when one marriage ends, you jump right into another relationship.
Yeah, you telling the truth right there.
And I was
Hmm.
still married. I was still married when I jumped into a
Yeah,
relationship at
yeah.
21, run into someone I knew, and because of an issue we had in the family, I made a a tent decision. You know how you said God will move you into tents? I turned it into a house. I was like, we're here.
Mm-mm.
This is what it is. And it probably was the downfall that I had to deal with
So
up
hold on.
until recently.
So how long did the first marriage last?
Man, it's sometimes so long I forget I was married. I have to think
Oh,
about
it was
that.
long.
2004. We got married 2004. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It was legal till 10. We were separated in
Yeah.
2008. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I jumped into the next one,
You
2009. You see what
jumped
I'm
into the
saying?
next one and ready to get
And
married.
so,
What was it that made you
um,
say, let me get married again
I
like
thought
that?
the crazy thing is, I don't know what I was looking for. I think I was looking to prove that I could do it. I was looking to prove that I can last in relationships. And unfortunately, the people in my family that I saw, they fought through stuff a lot. Stuff
Mm.
that they should walk through from, I watched them deal
Yeah.
with. So it was natural
Mm.
for me I grew up watching people in my family deal with stuff they should have not dealt with. So it was
Yeah.
natural for me to deal with people I knew I should let go of. And that's
Mm.
such a hard thing. And that's that's a whole nother spirit in itself because the freedom that I should have had, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I'm gonna hold on to it. They'll get right later. I'll get right later. Don't worry about it. So you're suffering, not realizing
Yeah.
there is better on the other side. And as soon as better does come up, you walk right back into it. You're like, why am I back here? Because of the
Wow.
fling or the connection or because you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have sex with them. So now
Mm-hmm.
it's the bond,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. So when I was with my second wife, I actually started a ministry. I started
Oh,
a whole church, right?
wow.
Thinking thinking it was cool. 6 months running in the hotel, we're doing stuff. Mind you, I'm making ways to pay for the church, but not making ways to pay for my bills. Making ways to establish ministry, but not making ways to make sure my kids are good.
Oh,
Not you said,
wow.
and there was
Lord
never
help.
there were men around, but none of them showed me how to be a husband, how to be none of them, the pastors, none of them took time to say, hey, this is how you do it. So I started to lose hope in the church. I started to lose
Uh-oh.
hope in the men of God who were around me,
Mm.
husbands, leaders. I thought it was just manipulative. And then all of a sudden, I started to learn the business to church and how they would invite people in and let's split the offering in half. And
Wow,
before
Lord.
so and so get up, put your hand out and don't move till you get your 1,500. And then boom, and I learned the game and I
Oh,
got
Lord.
hot. I was like, no, I'm out. I can't do this no more. And I rebelled. I got so bad. By the time I was leaving my second wife, it was the girl that I was chilling on the side who told me I need to change my life. It was her.
Wow, wow.
I used to
So
drop
you
her
was
to
just,
church. I
you
was
didn't have no
wilding.
conviction of what you was doing, you know.
I did. I just didn't move because I tell people conviction doesn't mean that it's going to pierce me to change. It's like, you know how you laying with somebody, you know you wrong, but all right, I'm just going to do it because of whatever. Like, I don't care. And I got to that place
Wow,
where I stopped caring to where it was like, so what? They don't care about me. They talking about me. They talk about each other. So whatever, and
wow.
while you're pointing at me, I'm going to point right back at you. And I got more arrogant, more aggressive. I got
Mm.
stronger mentally. I became a
Oh,
guy that was kind at one point, but you didn't want to deal with him next. It was like, I can be kind, but then I became the dude that would knock you out. And it was like, don't be that
what
guy.
you was doing all that?
Listen, I didn't fight, but it was like, well, I did a couple times. I ain't gonna,
Wow. Now,
but
was you angry about something? Like,
yeah, I think I was more so angry at what was where my life was turning. I think I was frustrated with the fact that here I am saying I want to serve Christ, but the movement that is around it sucks. The people that represented Christ that were in front of me were not a good reflection. And I'm gonna tell you
mm-hmm.
where it really destroyed me. At 19, I went to Manpower. I'll tell it all the time. I went to Manpower in Charlotte. Now my dad lived in Charlotte. I didn't know where they were at that moment, but I knew. So when I went down there, I had the worst experience ever. I, I
Lord.
I wish I could really, well, but I had a terrible experience, and it was with the men in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
That God put that were in my life that were there to help me. They let me down in such a way that I was broken that day. I was broken
Mm.
in half. And all of a sudden, Bishop
Mm.
Long starts preaching. He's like, don't let anyone break your praise. Keep being the best that you can be. And I'm gone. And all of a sudden, I was in a quiet praise, but because I was crying out, there were men around me saying, it's not like men like to cry. Men don't bow down. This is wrong. This is not of God. And
Wow.
they started pushing me before for loving God. And I was like, so if I was a fighter, if I was a drug addict, would you be cool? But you're hurting me. I wanted to quit so bad. I was like, it's over. Bump
Oh,
Jesus, bump God. I'm out. I'm done with this. So can you imagine? And gratefully, I didn't quit because at the top of that balcony at that arena, my dad's brother was looking down at me and didn't realize it was me, but went to his
mm.
church telling the whole church about this kid who was praising God. Had no idea it was his nephew
What?
until I met him. Right? But
Wow.
it's those moments to where you line them up and you go, all right, God, why did you allow me to go through this? You know what I'm saying? Why
Mm-hmm.
why was it that I couldn't have my father there? What was it
Mm.
about where my mother wasn't allowed to develop enough to show me the things that she can show me now? What was it
Mm-hmm.
about, what was it about me where you wanted me to see the etiquette of Christians or even myself? Because if I had good leadership around me, I think I would have took a different turn. And
Mm-hmm.
and so just the idea of being a pastor, um, I recognize that dropping the people that you say you love can affect them in the worst way and not
Yeah.
being there for them. And it crushed me. The church destroyed me, especially just in using your talents when you're good at what you do. You're a
Mm-hmm.
singer, you're an artist, they want to use you for what you do and don't feel like they owe you anything. And so when
Mm.
you learn that, I was like, so the R&B world is going to pay me more than the Christian world? All right, we got it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I was already doing R&B gospel. I was already signed to a Christian label. We was underground. That's what we did. It was like So I was listening to you and B Slade, and I'm like, yo, listen to Freeway, listen to Fix It. We're gonna blend these worlds together. We got Shei Atkins,
Yeah.
Dave Hollister, and Tone. Hey,
Yeah.
you got Randy. Let's go. Like I
Yeah.
was ready. I'm
Yeah.
gonna live me. I don't care what people think. And it was like I just got cocky after a while. Mentally, I was like, fuck them.
Oh.
I'm doing me. But it wasn't
Oh.
like an open cocky, and it's like, look at me. It was like, I'm gonna do what I want, and I'm gonna record what I want, and you're not gonna stop me because you're doing it too. Type of cocky. You feel me? It was like it was one of those, and unfortunately, by the time God was able to break me down, it was almost like, yo, only God's gonna be able to break this dude down. There's only him. Only God is gonna be able to bring him to a place where he realizes you're not being consistent with your children. You think you're there for them every week,
Oh.
but you're not providing for them. You're not really leading people to Christ. You're actually turning them
Mm.
away. You're not
Mm.
being honest in your music just because you're on TikTok and you got 70,000 followers there and 150,000 on Facebook. That doesn't mean that you're leading them to me. You're just being kind and motivated. So
Mm.
now you get to a place where I'm sitting in the car and I was like, Lord, what am I doing wrong? Here I am dealing with the last breakup, last situation with a woman I've been with for almost 8 years or 7 years. And I'm like, Lord, what am I doing wrong? I know this doesn't work. What am I doing? He's like, you really want to know? I pulled out a pen, Shay, and I started to write down everything that was wrong with me, everything that I didn't
Mm.
realize that I did that, and it crushed me. It crushed me so bad.
Wow.
I got low. I was like, yo, make me better. And
So God
within
revealed you to you.
yo, that
Nobody
you
else
want to
had to tell you.
listen, no, not at all. It was the hardest thing I ever heard in my life. You think people telling you about yourself or something. Imagine God telling you. And you know it's God because you don't want to think about yourself in the worst way. You're like, nah, that's not me. He's like, no, it's you. And I want you to see where you did it at. And he got me to a place where he's like, and we're not going to talk about what the people did to you. We know what they did to you,
Yeah.
but this ain't about them right now. This is about
Yeah.
you seeing how you responded. And I tell my kids, I say, what one person does to you, that's their karma. But what you do to that person, that's yours. And so
That's
God
right.
was like, I'm going to deal with them, but you asked me about you, so I'm going to deal with you.
That's
So
right.
we don't really care what's going on. And I started to see all of it. And I got so broken that my prayer every day was, Lord, free me. Lord, help me. Lord, show me
Yeah.
a better me. And I finally wanted to be baptized. I said, I got to do this for me. I don't want my mother
Yeah.
to baptize me. I don't want it to be with my church. I want to be free. And I want my kids to see this. And the day that it happened, I remember my second oldest son, Gabe, was in the sanctuary when I was getting into the water, and the youth pastor I happen to be familiar with. So the fact that he was baptizing me, he was able to talk in my ear like, Randy, this is what you was talking about. You here, let's do it. And I remember going in that water, and when I came back up, it felt like everything I thought I had been free from was finally gone.
Wow.
I literally, for the first time, lost all former desires. All of my self will was gone. The the urge to sing all night and explode was like,
Yeah.
ugh. It was
Really?
like, yeah,
I
like
like them songs.
they're really great songs, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there's
But
there's
they
songs,
something else though.
yeah,
They
like,
something else.
but I tried to make them work for God. It was like, well,
Oh, you was
it
trying to
could be
make
a
it work for
marriage thing.
God.
Listen, it could be a
Yeah.
marriage thing, Good
Yeah.
girl, it's so good to see you, like, and
Yeah.
God was like, hey, bro, you might want to play that in your marriage ministry. Don't play that. Where you can say that at
Yeah.
home. Good music,
Yeah.
good stuff. But I realized it was sending a mixed message, and it was
So
like,
when was
hey,
this? When was
all
this
of
you
this
got
happened.
baptized and all that there?
I got baptized April 3rd. I got
Oh,
convicted
this
in
year.
the top of March. Yeah, I got convicted in the worst way the top of March, just around my daughter's birthday. My daughter's birthday is March 13th. It was just around that time where I asked God, and he crushed me. I was on a plane to go see my daughter. And mind you, as I'm on the plane to go to Florida, I get to New York and I missed the flight. So I had to stay in New York right there
Yeah.
all night. So I heard some stuff that really broke me down to the
But
core. To the
but
core. And it was like,
what made you say, okay, hold on, some ain't right? Because you know how we do. We looking at people on social media. We see you dancing and doing your thing. We can't see. what's
Can't
going
see
on
it.
the inside. So what was it?
Uh,
What was the shift that made you sit down and ask yourself, like, or ask God? Hold on, now what was the
I
shift?
had
What was the
I was good with hiding stuff. So, like especially when you're dealing with relationships, people didn't know the fights we were having, the arguments. Um, Here I am, you know, running to other females for comfort, or it was all those
mm,
things. It wasn't a matter
oh
of trying to be, but it was comfort. It was like, and God was like, so you think that I'm going to take you from here to go to this woman and ruin her life when you really found her the wrong way? He was like, I'm going to have you rewind back. You have to walk away from that, go back
mm,
to where you was broken, deal with that so you can go forward. So I literally had to apologize and walk away from people that I added in my life.
oh
Even people that I did business with, it was like, you shouldn't even be here. So I need you to back up. And once I did that, it was like God said, now go. Pow, fast forward. It was like, shroom. And I started to go through. I mean, within a week's time, it was like, dang, you're going through all of that. You're recovering from all of this. And then God is showing you all of this. And now you're baptized and you're here. And then all of a sudden, you get fast forward. And we get to today where everything changes.
so would you say you didn't
Yeah.
love you? Would you say you didn't have self-love?
No, I think the love I had for me was very small. Very small.
Mm,
I didn't believe I mean this is all really the first time I really talk about a lot of this stuff, but um I didn't like the way I talk. I hate the way I talk. I
you didn't
don't
like your
like,
voice?
oh my God. Because the tongue tie, and even the people like, oh, I love your voice. I'm like, yo. Because really I talk lower than this. I try not to do it so that it doesn't come off like, oh, he's smooth. So I talk loud on purpose so it doesn't, you know,
Hmm.
pull people in the wrong way. Then I just got used to me singing good. It was like, I'm all right. I just like
Uh-huh.
music, but I really never really liked my voice up until a few years ago.
Mm.
So it's a lot of things that people don't know. It's like even with dancing, I don't think I'm a great dancer. I just was playing around. And
Yeah.
God used that. And I was like, okay, I see what's happening. You're transitioning me out of what I think I know to show me
Mm.
what could be. But as I was doing that, I was starting to get paid dancing.
Come
And just
on.
as sure as I was doing it, God took it. It was
Oh,
like,
he
nah.
took it?
Oh, it got snatched down. It was just off of someone saying, reporting me dancing. Said, hey, this is
Really?
against policy. And Facebook took my other page, shroop, took the money with it, shroop. And they was like, nah, you good. And I looked up and I was like, all right, so let's
That's
talk.
discouraging. That's
Yo, I was
discouraging.
yo, like me and Mark Zuckerberg was dogs. That was my man. Listen, the way he was blessing me, I was slapping Mark Zuckerberg up.
What? So somebody can come in and say, report a video, and all of a sudden you be gone, and make you lose out on all the money and everything. That's
Yeah,
really
it shut it down. It shut down.
that'll run me high, right? I know
Yo,
you
I
was
mean,
mad.
Shay, I was making a lot of money. And
That's
then
messed up. So you can't do
I
it
was
again, or
Nah,
it's
they're
like
not
that's a
even
moment you
offering the
can't.
services. Yeah, it's over. Like they literally only kept it going because they had already offered it to me. They had shut down the offer for everybody else. So you were only going to get paid based off of you still being connected. So once it's
That's
over,
messed
it's
up.
over. Yeah, it was. And so at that moment, I was like, all right, Lord. And
Oh
then things started to
wow.
hit. Yeah. So, I mean, and the grateful part is, I mean, there are other avenues of resources, and gratefully I had that. So it's not like, okay, the Facebook part was bad. I mean, TikTok does its part, Instagram does its part, and you're like, okay, cool. And then we do things for people that ask us to do stuff. So it's not like being an influencer is a broke thing. No, it still does good. But that situation, that particular
Yeah.
one,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was like, yo, and right then I was like, okay, God wants me to do something.
Yeah.
And so I had to examine myself and I had to look
Mm.
around the people that I came through, just even as a man of God. And it was like, what happened with me and you? That was
Mm.
the moment where I was like, okay, let's talk. He's like, what happened to where me and you fell out? And I was like, Lord, you didn't do anything. He says, right. I didn't. It was the people. And sometimes we connect
Yeah.
people to God and
Yeah.
we
We do.
mistake their energy for his energy.
Yeah.
And
We
and
do.
the and it's like just because they say they love Christ doesn't mean Christ acts the way that they do. And the minute
That's
I
right.
separated the two, God was able to show me what I can do to impact the world. And here I am with 200, what, 220, 30,000 followers and millions of views all the time. And he's like, so you really not going to bring them to me?
Wow.
Like, I've given you the platform and you really not going to lift me up right now? Like,
Wow.
think about
Wow.
that.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like,
All these people, and you ain't gonna say nothing about me.
yeah. He's like, so you think I'm going to keep letting you make money off a platform I gave you to see if you was going to realize it was for me? I was
Mm.
completely oblivious to it. I'm like, I'm supposed to be in front of a camera
Yeah,
because
yeah,
every
yeah,
time I think,
yeah.
shoot, because every time I run from a camera, I'm in front of one. It's like, no matter what I do. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
God was like, yo, let's go back and let's start dealing with it. Let's go back to where it hurt. I was like, man, I was about 6. He
Wow.
said, yeah, I remember that day. I remember
Yeah,
that day when you felt like your grandma broke you. All right, let's do that. Because I
yeah,
struggle with issues of talking to my grandmother right now. It's not because I
yeah.
hate her, but she reminds me of my ex-wives. And that's
Wow.
who I married. My ex-wives is the reflection of what my grandmother was then, not now, but
Mm.
then. And so I
Yeah.
struggle with that. And then the way that I maybe yearned to help people. I watched my mom help people and they shatter her. But my
Mm.
energy was be the bigger version of you, be there for people, show them. But I took it on in the wrong way. And here I am realizing, yo, you allowed yourself to be broken. But God, why? Because there was no one to tell me, hey, you don't have to do that. Hey, it
Mm.
doesn't have to be like that. Why did you allow me to do that? And then that was the moment where God was like, you're going to be the one that helps people to see how to get out of it. I called you
Mm.
to go through all of that so that you
Mm.
can go to young men who feel like it's tough to be a father. How do I
Yeah,
get through the court system? What do I do when child support is taking everything from me?
yeah,
What do I do when I can't visit my kids unless the judge
yeah.
says you show up on a Saturday? I used to have to pay $8 a weekend to walk into a center to see my children. Stuff like
Wow.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
What do you tell other men? And it's
yeah.
through the testimony. So once I got to that place where I'm like, God, how can I give back? He said, one, go back to your call. And he said, you're still a prophet. It's like
Wow.
you were in church. You're doing church
Yeah.
stuff in church, but you're not accepting the full role. You're sitting on the side like, well, if you need me, I'll say something. No, you have to say something.
Yeah.
So I just what's crazy is that in all this process, I was on a 2 year streak of reading the word every morning and starting to
Mm.
pray. So God was already breaking me
Yeah, yeah,
slowly to where
yeah,
I was building up a habit. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
when it was
yeah.
time, he was like, so you ready?
Mm.
Open your mouth. And that's when
Uh-oh.
y'all saw me in the live, and it was like nothing went away. The teaching
And
is
it was
there.
really good. It was so anointed. I could feel the anointing of God. You were teaching very well. You know,
See,
the examples that he was, it was just flowing. And I was like, wow, I saw a whole nother side of you, you know.
oh,
But it was good. It was good.
it's
And it
I
really,
appreciate it.
it caught my attention. That's why I wanted you to come, you know,
I
share your
appreciate it.
story. So how
I
do you
mean,
feel
those
about
gifts are
yourself
there.
right now?
Oh man, at this point, I am at my best. I'm at my best. I have to be honest. I am I'm at my best. It's everything about right now. I'm okay with the way life turned. I'm okay with the losses. I'm okay with the gains. I'm
Come on.
literally like I took communion for the first time with no weight on me
Come
the other
on.
week. Like,
Come
because
on.
a lot of the time, it's just stuff going on. That was the first time where there was no weight. There was no, I'm still here. I'm still being dishonest. I mean, dishonest can be as simple as not being straight up about where you're going. You get on the phone with people and you're like, oh yeah, man, I'm headed to the store. I'll call you back. God, like, no, you're not. You're sitting on the couch. Like, be honest with people and just say you're sitting on the couch and you don't feel like talking and
Yeah.
let them decide how they're going to receive your truth. I had to get that honest with myself. Once that happened, it was a lot of weight. It was like, accept it for what it is. Now, let's take your talents back to God, bro. It's
Come
like
on.
your lyrics, your pen, your ability to sing. Your biggest break came from John P. Key, not Tank. Go
Yeah,
back to
yeah,
where it
yeah.
happened.
That is so funny.
Tank,
That is so
you
funny.
I paid Tank way more for that. And it's not that he didn't give me a break, but I paid
Yeah.
Tank more for the opportunity that John P. Key has given me to this day, basically because of one thing that he did. He just gave me a different mental. And so God was like, look at what I did for you through who I did for you, and look at the people that still know you for the work you did with me. not
Yeah.
more so what you did when you left. And so I have to keep the R Jerome brand because it's bigger than me now. But being Randy is who I am. And for the first time this month, I started introducing myself as Randy again. I was always Jerome.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
Jerome. I'm Rome. Don't call me Randy. And
And
I'm
where
like,
Jerome come from? Where did name come from?
that's my middle name.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's your middle
Randall
name.
Jerome. Yeah, Randall
Oh,
Jerome
okay.
Gatson. So let's talk about that. So our Jerome was created the moment I realized that I wasn't enough to satisfy the person I was with. So our Jerome became my alter ego. Our Jerome was,
Mm.
oh, you don't think I got swag? Watch me. You don't think I
Oh,
got skills? Watch me. You don't think I'm good in the
wow.
bed? Watch me. It was
Wow.
all of that. So it became an
Yeah.
alter ego. So when I became our
Oh,
Jerome in 2013, at first, it was like, this is what I'm doing. And when I went back to it, I remember doing the all night video and we were
yeah.
working the video and I was doing the part and the director was like, hey man, this ain't working. I need you to be our Jerome. And I remember snapping into that character.
Wow.
And that's when I literally was in that frame. So when it came on, it came on. So it was like, oh, he's gonna be
Yeah.
sexy right now. He's gonna be smooth. He's gonna be whatever he needs to be. Like from that moment on. And so I realized that R Jerome was a cover up from who I really was. It was
Wow.
like for real. It was like, hey, I gotta feed the R Jerome brand. If the women like it, I gotta pretend to be something just to keep them there. And God was like, no, we're gonna shut down your TikTok lives. How about that? We're
Oh,
gonna cut that.
Lord.
And I cut it. I did.
Lord have
Man, to tell you,
mercy.
I was like, the next time you see me, I'm gonna be a different dude. I'm gonna be better. I was
Wow.
like, and I lost the desires to be live on certain things. And
Wow.
he's that was when I knew. It's like it got to a point where God personally was blocking stuff. Not it was like not people. You could tell God was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
no, no,
Yeah. Wow. It's
no.
time for you to come on back now.
Yeah, you could feel him. He was like, she's gonna get pregnant. Let me just stand here. Don't talk to her.
Wow.
Nothing, bro. Like I'm shutting that down. I gotta show it. It was that heavy. And
Wow.
so, you know, if there's people watching out there, you're probably dealing with stuff where God is coming to you and you know, and you hear that voice, but you're rejecting it. I'm gonna tell you something now. It's only gonna get louder. It's gonna
Yeah.
get louder and louder, and it's gonna get stronger. It's gonna get to the point to where he's gonna show up himself. And when he shows up himself, you're gonna hear it, and he starts to tell you, "Hey, you're foul," just like he did Paul. You know, that's what he
Yeah.
did Paul the apostle. He's like, "Hey, it's hard to kick against the pricks, bro." He's like, "You're
Yeah.
doing wrong right now." And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to blind you from your journey. That's what I feel
Wow.
happened. I feel like God took me and blinded me from it and was like, if you could just turn back this way and start to lead people towards me, watch what happens. And I showed that journey back to him. And the response is even greater. But here's the funny thing, I lost about 500 followers the day I said I committed myself to Christ.
Wow. They
And
was gone, huh?
I lost those followers, and before that, just a couple posts on the journey. They was like, "No, we're good."
Yeah,
I
we
so
want
within that,
Jerome.
yeah, I had lost like hundreds. Like so, yeah, I lost about it was probably about 300 for the calling, and then just my
Yeah.
connections. It was like so a total of 500-600 people. I was like, "What just happened?" And I thought
Yeah.
about it, and I said, "Okay, that's cool."
Yeah, yeah.
They
It's
wanted our
cool.
Jerome. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
wanted
wanted
our Jerome.
Jerome.
They wanted sexy, smooth, talk to me
Yeah.
smooth, talk to me nasty, make me
Yeah,
feel a
yeah.
certain way. And
Yeah.
I thought it was what it was supposed to be at first. I was like, all right,
Wow.
I'm gonna be our Jerome. You
Yeah,
want the voice?
yeah.
I'm like, drop the voice low,
Yeah,
give him
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Tyrese.
yeah.
This is what
Yeah.
you want, baby. And God was
Uh-uh.
like, yo,
He said, look, your time is up, son.
it's over. You know what I'm saying? I
That's
told my mom
funny.
the question. I said, I realized if I was to die at that moment, where would I go? And I knew it was hell.
Wow.
That was what changed me. I was like, yo, if I was going today, I'm going to hell. Like
Because
I
you were
knew,
disobedient.
yo, disobedient. There has to be another word stronger than that because I was not
In
listening to
rebellion.
God at all. I was
Wow.
literally leading worship, just playing music. Like, no, I'm just going to do it online for mom and not say nothing. Like, I'm in the
Yeah.
corner. You need me. I'm here, but I'm out. So I didn't
Yeah.
preach or I haven't sung in any other church since 2017. And that was the last pastor for me. I was like, we're good.
Wow.
I was like, well, after that last jerk move, I was like, I'm going to mom's church. I'm going to sit in the corner and,
So
you
let me
know,
ask you this. You was cutting up and doing your thing, as a husband, and I was here cutting up with these women and going to them and for comfort and all this here stuff. So, what's different now as you approach women or enter into a relationship? What has changed inside of you, when it comes
oh
to
man.
women and how relationships?
Well, the first thing I recognize is that these are God's daughters, and so
Come on
what
now.
I had to realize was when God put man to sleep, we don't know how many years, we don't know how many months, but He put Adam to sleep for a time, and during that time, He created Eve. And I always say we don't know what He told her, but whatever He told her, there was a need for us to have her. So whatever
Mm-hmm.
we're doing to impact them to have the feelings, the emotions, and where we use women. I mean, because here's the thing, yeah, women can do their things, but I can only speak for what a man does. I can't
Yeah, yeah,
speak for
yeah.
what she does. But the way we have the ability to manipulate the mind of a woman is just jacked up. And we know
Yeah,
we play with the emotions and we can make you feel like you love us and we'll
yeah.
get you right up in there. And as long as you pretend to be a wife, we ain't gotta make you one. And then we'll just do
Wow.
stuff. And I had to realize that, yo, God took this person and he sat with her. And I always believe that that's where the Holy Spirit entered in for the first time because when the man opened his eyes, he said, woman.
Yeah,
Remember, remember when Jesus asked the disciple and he was like, well, who am I? He was like, you're Jesus, you're the Son of God. He said, you
yeah,
only know that because the Holy Spirit revealed that to you.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
truly believe that at that moment, it was the Holy Spirit that told Adam, this is who she is. She's a part
yes,
of you. And I
yes.
lost sight of that. So now when I deal with that, it's okay, I need to recognize you came from God straight
Mm-hmm.
up. And so the love that I want to have is what can I do to make sure that God is reflected in your life? So if we're going to have a conversation, I'm going to determine off the top if we're just going to be cool or if I can actually be with you. So
Mm.
it's different now. It's
Oh,
not
that's
like, oh shoot,
different.
I'm gonna just holler at you because you're pretty. I really don't care how pretty you are anymore because I can also see crazy from a mile away, which means
Come
we just
on.
might have to be cool. You crazy, but
Yeah,
I roll with you. You're my dog. But I had to learn that you don't have to lay with that girl just because she's pretty.
yeah,
Like you got to back up. And so, and I realized that's just a soul stress for myself. It's like, well,
yeah.
why are we going to do that? So my motives now is don't approach a woman the way you did it before. Give it God's eyes, give it God's time, God's
Come
emotions,
on.
and get to know her and recognize that it's a courting phase, not just a dating phase. And then I had to realize I have two daughters that are watching me. And so would you want somebody to do that to your daughters?
Yeah.
That's what got me. So, it's funny. I didn't share this, but during this time when God healed me, I went back to my ex-wives and mended. So, well, me and my first ex-wife, we were good. We were good, but it was the second one. I hadn't talked to her in 2.5 years. She was picking up my kids, coming to get them, and I wouldn't respond to her. I just let the kids do it. And the Holy Spirit
Wow.
said, take her out to lunch, just as parents. Don't talk about nothing. Just be parents. And I was like, yo, you need to have access to your kids. Bop, 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 bop. Let's make this work for them. You want to see them? You see them. You don't. And from that moment on, it helped the kids. And God was like, you didn't do that for her. You did that for me and you. Because I need you to have a clear path with the people that are in your life. And it's just
Yeah,
stuff like that where I
yeah.
realized, yeah, this woman might have did a lot to me. I get it. But there's stuff that I did to her that she hasn't been able to get over because the man of God in
Wow.
me didn't go to
Wow.
her and say, hey, so let me talk to you. I apologize for what I did to you. And I'm
Yeah.
not that guy anymore. And for
Wow.
both of them to see me now, they'll tell you, like, I literally called them, for Mother's Day. What's up? Happy Mother's Day. That's
Yeah.
it's real,
Yeah.
because and they can say, you know what, we see you as something different and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's a lot because they know, that's not Randy. Randy.
Yeah.
So that's where it started for me is if you're going to approach a woman, be different. Be the guy that God would want you to be and recognize that you're reflecting an example of Jesus Christ. Period. And so
Yeah.
how can I say I love Jesus and also have a reputation for smashing every girl I know or disrespecting, people? It's like
Yeah.
you
Wow.
ruin it for yourself. Yeah.
So what
So
did you have to heal inside of you to be a good man for a woman?
my heart.
Your
I had a
heart.
hatred towards the women in my past. I mean, as a kid, the very first girl I talked to told me I had to give her some money for some candy or she was gonna go to the other dude. That's when it
Mm,
began. And the
mm,
next girl was the same way. It was like so every girl I was with was temporary, and they would go to the next guy. So that's
mm,
what I saw through high school. High school girl I liked, she liked me, but she liked the other guy more. So it was if I don't
mm.
get this, I go to him. So you
So you
get
was always
married and
getting
you
left for another man.
for somebody else, or
Mm,
or it would get to the point where now where the one you with is still stuck on what they've been through and they treat you like what you've been through, what they've been through.
mm,
So now you can't even get in good for being different until you become like the person that they hate. Then it's
mm.
like, yo.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so I
yeah.
wound up becoming the person that she hated, my last situation, and I was different. And so, when you go to those things, you're like, I had to heal my heart. I had to
You have
tell
to heal your
myself
heart.
that, yo, I forgive people, but I also had to know who I can't deal with anymore. And so it starts with forgiving yourself and realizing that a lot of people that you have issues with, where you might talk to them in your mind, you might literally, and those, that's a mental awareness where you're like, okay, I'm mad at somebody that's never going to come around for me to tell them I'm mad at them.
Mm. Wow.
Um,
Yeah,
I'm I'm playing in my mind moments that I wish I could say to them, and it's pulling me down. And God's like, so just give that to me. That's why I talk
yeah,
about in my lives where it's like, yo, my yoke is easy, my burdens are light. You
yeah,
have to trust me with your emotions, with your feelings. And if you don't,
yeah.
you're gonna sit there and you're gonna be mad at this woman for playing you or for sleeping with whoever and he's like, but you did something too. So what are we doing here? Like
Mm-hmm.
forgive them, forgive yourself, let me show you a better side of you. And so here I am. I'll be 39 this year. I'm recognized. I'm like, God, it's not too late for me to dream. It's not too late for me to be. Forgive yourself
Come on
and
now.
love yourself. That's
Come
that's the
on.
beginning to loving myself.
Come on. So what do you look for in a woman? For the people
uh,
watching,
or what did I?
what do you look for in a woman now?
So let's there's a few things you're about to see. So let me just describe it as if it's not so. We're gonna have this
Okay.
discussion. So I'll leave that part off limits, but I'm because you're gonna see some stuff in a minute. But
All right now.
um, but what I will say is this: what I look for is someone who, well, number one, I do need them to have a relationship with Christ. You
Come
have to.
on.
It's a season where you can't teach them how to have. I used to always find people that didn't have the relationship that I had. And I don't need you to have my relationship, but can we at least have the understanding? Because then when I start to experience stuff, I don't really have to tell you, hey, that's the Holy Ghost. You're aware
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
So having someone who's aware of the Holy Ghost that's in you is everything. You feel
Yeah.
me? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so that's number one. Number two is I look for someone that my children can feel comfortable around. If I can put you on the phone or in front of and my kids go, "Hey, how you doing?" and you give them that response of love and energy, that's a positive outlook because that shows you can embrace what comes with me, and that's
Uh-huh.
big because when you embrace a woman's children, that's a different phase. But most of the time, men that have
Yeah.
children, we automatically are labeled as baggage and baby mama, and
Yeah.
it comes with us. Most of us guys don't have it under control, where it's like, hey, ex-wife here, ex-wife here, we ain't doing nothing. It's just, a lot
Yeah.
of people don't. So I look for someone that has that understanding. Then the
Uh-huh.
next thing is can we be on the same playing field where if I have something that can help you, are you receptive of it? Because
Yeah.
I'm a receptive person. Like I believe that a man can be submissive to his woman just like a woman is submissive because submissive to me is having the power to be all the things that you want to be, but making a conscious decision that you're going to submit to the idea or the motive that is presented to you. So it's like I got my own house, I got my own bills, and I come in and I say, hey, we're married, let's live together, let's get married, let's make this right. And you're like, wow, I actually like that idea. That's the submission. I have the
Yeah.
power to do what I want, but
Yeah.
I like what's going on here. I'm gonna come to it and I'm gonna say, let's work. And if you
Yeah.
have somebody that can say, you know what? Let's work together. It's not a controlling thing. I'm not your boss. I'm your partner. That's
Yeah.
that's what it's about for me. So I think
Come
those are
on
the
now.
top three things.
And another thing on dating, and we'll get out the dating, but I was scrolling the other day and I heard you talking about courting. And you was talking about courting and dating.
I was
So
talking about
what
courting and dating.
yeah, what is courting to you?
All
Courting a
right,
woman.
so let's start with the dating part. Now,
Yeah, let's talk about
courting
it.
it definitely, yeah, because
Yeah, this
dating to me is literally not for one woman. You're basically, hey, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna hang out. I'm dating you. There's no
yeah,
commitment. There's no assurance that you want to be with that person. There's no
yeah,
assurance that hey, I'm
yeah,
interested in you. For me, courting is I like you and I want
yeah,
to get to know just you.
yeah,
And
just
if you
you.
and yeah, and it's basically requesting to be in a woman's space. Can
Yeah.
I occupy your time
Uh-huh.
and get to know you? And during that time, the biggest thing for me is affirmation. Because if you can affirm that what you're doing is right and then be consistent, then
Yeah,
you're going to open the heart of that person to
yeah,
trust that you're here with the right intentions. And if you give me time to court you, then you get to see who I am. And I know there might be some guys who don't believe in taking 10 steps while the woman may have to take two. But we got to look at the
yeah,
society that we're in. And some
yeah,
of us men have to be strong enough to take 10
yeah,
steps just to get her to move once. Because
yeah,
we all go through stuff, but our backs, I believe that God has put on our back to carry extra weight. He's like, I get you suffering, but I
yeah,
need you to pull her out. Because if you could pull her out, bruh, the type of support she about to give you, take 10
yeah.
steps, bruh.
A lot of people don't want to do that.
Take 10 steps. This the one. You just gotta take 10 steps. And when
Yeah,
she get to stepping, you better get ready to run because she gonna be
yeah. That's right. I agree with you. I agree. Once we see that you are who you say you are, it's
it's
no
money.
no. Yeah, it really is.
you know,
But you just have to do
that
the
part.
work in showing her that, and you may have to
Right.
put in a little extra
Right. It's rather
to
than, I
show
mean, because
her.
there's nothing wrong. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with getting that from a woman. Because a lot of times we do get the energy from women, and us guys don't move quick enough sometimes. So we'll be like, we'll leave y'all there. It's like, well, does he really love me? Today he
Yeah,
was saying he loves me, until tomorrow it's
yeah,
like, well, I said it yesterday. No,
yeah,
every
yeah,
day give her affirmation every single day, every
yeah.
day like it didn't happen, so that she
Come
knows,
on.
oh, this is what he does. Like I open doors. This ain't nothing
Yeah,
disorder. This is all the
come
time.
on. Yeah,
This is
yeah.
my
This
daughters
ain't no
don't touch
show.
doors. They don't touch that. This is what we do. Like I look
Yeah,
at like if you're dating me, you want to know how to disrespect me, touch a door. Touch a door.
right, right,
That's
right,
disrespect. Like you
right.
want to grab doors, you want to, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
cool,
yeah, yeah.
Oh, now you want to stand on this side of the road? Now you being disrespectful. That's cool.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's me. Like, don't
That's
disrespect me, but
good.
let me get my swag on. Step on over.
Yeah,
You know, teach my sons those things. It's like, hey, if there's a puddle and somebody has a stand in it, it's you. So
yeah.
my conditioning, I lost 20 pounds in the last 2 months. Like I changed my conditioning. I was bigger. I wanted to be strong because I said, whoever I'm with, I want to know that I want her to feel protected. I'm
Come
also
on.
a master in Taekwondo, so I can
Come
fight.
on now.
And I'm
Uh-oh.
also, I
Come
can
on
do a
now.
lot of things, but
Come
I'm a
on.
man of faith, but health is everything. So I said, be in good shape, have good physical health, mental health. So if that at that time, that embraces everything. You can have all that spirit you want, but a woman that knows when you hug her, you got her. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Ain't nothing.
right.
And she feel that arm, she like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's too
hey, bro.
funny. That is too funny.
She feel that arm. She like, hey,
Yeah,
all right, cool. But it's that right there. I think courting says, I want to really get to know you. I'm not
I
playing
want to
games.
really get to
Dating
know
says,
you.
I'm gonna
I'm
mess with you,
trying
but
you
I
out.
think I
I'm
have a couple
trying you out.
options.
Yeah, yeah. I like
Yeah, and
that.
we all been there. So
I
I
like
think
that.
at my age, it's like, look, let's court because we don't know what tomorrow holds, and I'm wasting time playing games.
Yeah, come on now. You better speak. Don't y'all agree? I feel that out there.
I'm wasting time. So if you the one, you the one, and the people in your corner is
Yeah.
just going to have to support that. It's like I've been in spaces where I thought someone else was the one, and then all of a sudden
Wow.
you like got to show you, and you like, yo, I'm in that space right now where you like,
Yeah.
yo, you never would have thought until
Yeah.
God took you through the bad, and you
Yeah.
find a situation that make you go, huh, all right, just pay attention to it, bro.
Yeah, come
And start
on.
moving. So
Listen to the Lord.
that's the courting for me. No games played in this area.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We have froze up a little bit.
There you go.
Okay. So, before we go, is there anything that you want to share about your ministry that you got going on, where they can follow you at? You know, what you're doing? Whatever you want to share
Yeah.
about what you got going on, go ahead.
Yeah. So June 25th, I'm being reinstated. So reinstated is saying I've always been ordained, but now I'll be an official associate pastor for Abiding Faith Christian Fellowship. And there's some major great things. Just know it's about to get bigger and
Come
better.
on. Come on. Come on.
uh, my pastor told me, share a little bit because we're getting ready to share a whole lot. So make sure y'all
Yeah.
follow me everywhere at I am R Jerome. If you're on Facebook, it's the R Jerome on Facebook because the other one was shut down, right?
My
So, but
Lord.
everywhere is I am R Jerome, and I dance all over the place. I try to bring light and encouragement to people, but I make funny videos too. So you can follow me there every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be 8 p.m. Central Time, and was it 6 p.m. Specific time. You can catch me doing Tuesday Night Live, where I do 40 minutes, 40 minutes of
Yeah.
I come right in, I speak into your life, I give you a good 15-minute word, and then we pray together. And I try to encourage people to join in and touch and agree, where it's not just me. And then a lot
Yeah.
of times the prophecies will come in, and God will start
Come
giving me
on
words
now.
for people
Come
that are on
on.
there, and
Come on, Lord.
calling out names, calling out
Come on,
situations, and
Jesus.
we do it. And
Let them use
it's
you.
about yeah, man. And thousands of people have been showing up and doing what
Come
they
on.
do, and I'm grateful. So y'all check that out. Also, Abiding Faith Dash Rochester. That's on Facebook. Follow that page. My mother, shout out to Pastor McKinney. I
Come
shout her
on.
out, but from Rochester, New York. We're trying to do what God told us to do. We have a heart for people, and we really want to expand in that. So y'all check out that page too. And let's see. Also, I got a new song coming out on the
Come on.
19th called Your Love,
Come on,
and
your
it's my
love.
intro back into singing music for God. I still make R&B, but
Yeah.
it's with His purpose now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you don't feel Him in it, I'm not
Yeah.
singing
Come on.
it.
Come on now.
So check that out. You can pre save it on Spotify. You can follow it, and that music is coming, and more music is coming this summer. I just recorded today
Come
a
on.
song um, called "I'm Back" because
Come on, I'm
the
back.
enemy thought he thought I was gone, and he thought I
Yeah.
wouldn't make it back. And if I could say within the last couple of minutes, let me have a minute to speak into the lives of the people that are here.
I was
Some of
gonna
y'all
tell
feel
you to
that
do that. Yeah.
some of y'all felt like God might have forgotten you. You might feel like maybe where I'm at right now is still not enough. And I want to tell you that it is enough. God has not forgotten you. He has not saw past you. He has not changed his mind about you, even if you feel like you change your mind about yourself. The purpose that he has for you is set up for a time such as now. I believe that God allowed you to set yourself up so that you can see him at a certain point in your life. And let me tell you something. If you look back over your life, you were too far to go back. So you just got to go forward. And though
Come
it
on.
may get weary, don't get weary in well doing, because there's a season that you're getting ready to walk into it. God's going to do it suddenly. He's going to do it all at once. And at this point in your life, when you feel like it hurts, keep pushing. When you feel like you can't see your way, keep pushing. I believe that
Yeah.
God is surrounding you with angels to even support you. So when you can't see your way, God's going to cause you to move forward right into his hands. He's going to cause you to be fed just like Elijah when he was sitting there being fed by ravens. He's going to cause you to be met in the wilderness just like the angels
Come
did
on.
Jesus. And when you think the enemy has showed up, let me tell you something about Satan. He can't walk up and do anything to you without Jesus showing up. So if he got the balls to come attack you, he better have the balls to stand in front of Christ, because Christ has
Come
not
on.
given you the spirit of fear, but the power,
Come
love,
on.
and sound mind.
Come
Real
on,
talk.
Lord.
So keep your
Yeah.
head up.
That's it. And can you say a prayer out?
I got you. All right, Heavenly
And then
Father,
we're
we
gonna get out of here.
thank you. Got
Yes,
you. Heavenly
Lord.
Father, we thank you. First of all, thank you for Shay. She
Yes,
is one of my
Lord.
biggest musical inspirations. Lord, we thank you for her life,
Yes,
for
Lord.
her child, for her family.
Yes.
Lord, we ask that you cover this situation, cover this
Yes,
broadcast,
Lord.
cover the people that
Yes,
are here.
Lord.
Lord, if
Yes.
anybody that does not know you want to get restored, we ask that you do it right now in
Yes,
Christ's
Lord. Right
name.
now,
We
God.
love you and we
We love
appreciate
you,
you
Lord.
for self love, for the journey back
Yes,
to ourselves.
God.
Thank you for
Yes.
recovery and for redemption in the name of
Yes,
Jesus. We
God,
love
in the
you
name of
and we
Jesus.
honor you,
And
Lord
we
God.
honor
We
you,
praise you
Lord.
so much.
Yes,
In
Lord.
Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Whoa.
Thank you so much for saying yes. Thank you
Yes.
so much for coming on and sharing your journey
I
because you
appreciate it.
matter.
I'm a fan. You know this.
Amen.
I love you. Oh my God. Miss Shay.
And Michelle, Carlton, Shy 300, Tramisha, Lynette, thank you so much for Carlton, AJ. Thank you so much for tuning in. I think she wants you to share. If you can go back later and share the links for the church and just paste them or something in the comments.
Come.
I think that
You
she
can
would like
even
that.
come if you follow me right now, you look for the little cartoon. It says I am R Jerome. If you put that anywhere on Facebook, I actually have a post right now of abiding faith. If not, you can also go to abidingfaithcfc.org and you can find the website Abiding Faith CFC for Christian Fellowship Church.org. And if not, you go on Facebook, look up Abiding Faith Rochester. And if not, just go to my page. I got links with my mom actually sharing Bible study last night. You can click that link. We would love to have you on live Sunday morning. And her Bible studies are insane. She's got all these theological degrees. She just teaches very well.
Amen.
So check
Well,
it
all
out.
right, we're finna get on up out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. I love y'all. You matter. God bless you. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. God bless you,
Hey,
man of God. Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
All right. Bye, y'all.
See ya.